In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up conditional form tracking for your website. This has become absolutely crucial now to train Google Ads accounts to go after the right kind of inquiries for your law firm so that you get the right kind of leads in and it can optimize for more qualified people. I spoke about that in a previous video, which is the key to success with Google Ads in 2025. I'll put a link above for that. If you haven't seen that already, I highly recommend you go watch that video where I explain why this is necessary. In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up that form tracking, which is going to divide people into two camps, one being qualified leads, one being unqualified leads, and then only the qualified leads get sent back to Google as a conversion so that you can actually only track the ones you want. So in order to do this, you're going to need a form software that allows conditional redirects and what happens after you submit it. There's a few you can use, most are paid, but if you want a free one, there's one called Forminator, which you can use. If you're on WordPress, you can go Forminator like this, Forminator. And that one allows you to do what I'm going to show you for free. Another good one that's paid, but is a good one, is called Fluent Forms. I do recommend that one. I find it easier to use overall, but you got to pay for the upgraded version, this one here, to do the conditional settings. However, for this one, I'll use Forminator because it's free. I'll show you how to do this. So what you want to do is you want to go to Forminator and you want to create a form. So let's just say new form and we'll go qualifier form and we'll go create. Basically, what you need to do is include some kind of qualification question here. So what you'd want to do is you want to go insert and let's go name, email, phone, all the standard ones, whatever. Text area. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go radio, and I'll just leave all these blank because it's not really relevant for the purpose of this video, but what is radio. So the radio one is what I'm going to use as a question. So for example, how quickly or how soon do you need to resolve this matter? Now, in your case, you would want to make this something specific to whatever it is you're doing. So for example, if you're doing, let's say, workers' comp and you only want people who already made a claim, then you could have like, have you made a claim? Yes, no, what's your claim number? And then if they fill that out, then they get taken to the qualified thank you page. But basically you would want to put whatever's logical for your case that would actually filter people out and be able to tell you on the front end, are they qualified or are they not, with a high likelihood. So for this one, I'm going to go now for the options. I'm going to put now, next month, and next year. And so now what I'm going to do is apply conditional option for only people who selected now. So what we'd want to do in this case is go to behavior, and now you've got submission behavior. And so what you want to do is go redirect to a URL. And this is where we can put our specific thank you pages that we set up. Now, one thing I'm going to do is go to conditions, and this is where we're going to have the two separate ones. So we go add condition, and what we'll do is select for how soon you need this matter is, and then go now, done. If this happens, the behavior is, we're going to send them to that thank you page that we made that's tracked, which is this one here, /thank you. So we're going to put this URL in, which is that. And then we go redirect on the same tab. And then what we can do is another condition, which is conditions. If any of the following, and we'll go all of the following. So we'll go soon is not now done. This will send them to the other thank you page, or you could show them the inline message. It's totally up to you. I like to send them to the other thank you page anyway, which is /thanks in this case. I would still want to see all the form submits as well and track them as events and analytics, even though I'm not sending that back to Google. But basically, I still want it tracked. So now I'm going to go apply and I'm going to go publish. And so now what I'll do is I'll show you what this form will look like and what will happen once we submit it. Now, before I do that, I want to be able to test it on Google Tag Manager. So I'm going to set up two separate event triggers here for the thanks and the thank you pages. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to variables. Now I'm assuming you've already got a tag manager set up. If you don't, I'll put a link above and in the description below for how to set this up to begin with so that you can get to the point where I'm showing you here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to configure page URL, which is already there. I'll just remove these. We don't need them. I'm going to go to triggers and I'm going to go with form submit qualified. And what the trigger for this will be, the page view, page URL contains /thank you, as that was our tracked one here, the tracked thank you page. And now I'm going to make another one, which is form submit unqualified. Okay. And we'll go page view, page URL /thanks, and we'll save this one. And so this is the unqualified one. And so these will trigger an event based on the two different thank you pages. Now you want to go tags, and you would want to have set up your Google Analytics 4 already. I haven't for the purpose of this video, but you would need to do that already. So that's in that other video I already sent a link for. I'm going to put a link below. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up the triggers, and I'll show you how the triggers fire when we do the right one. So you'd go form submit qualified, and you'd go tag configuration, Google Analytics event. Now it's probably going to give me an error, but it doesn't really matter. For now, I'm just going to go event name, and I'll select the trigger qualified. Now you would put your measurement ID in here. I'm not going to do it because there isn't one. Hopefully it'll let me save. Okay, so I'm just going to put G123. Just put that as the example one, but you'd put your one in, and then I'm going to go save. And then what I'm also going to do is form submit unqualified. Okay, and go G123. And I'm going to go form submit unqualified as well. And then select the trigger unqualified for this one. Hit save and go submit, publish. And so now this will actually trigger these when we load that page. So I'm going to show you that. And then what you would want to do is import those into Google Ads or set it up on the Google Ads side as its own trigger like that as well. So you would go to preview. I'm going to show you how they fire now. So if we go to this URL, I'm just going to load that one up. And so you can see now I've opened it in the debugger for Google Tag Manager. And you can see here it's fired form submit unqualified. So what this will do is now that will send that as an event back to your Google Analytics 4. Now I'm going to close this and do it again with the qualified one, which is the thank you, like that. And we'll go back to where we were, close that, and we'll go preview again. But this time I'm going to put in /thank you and go connect. And now when it loads, you can see it's load the tracked thank you page. And you can see here that form submit qualified is now fired. And so that would now send that as an event back to Google Analytics. And so what you would do now is you would import only the qualified one to go to Google Ads. Alternatively, you could set that up directly in Google Ads as well. And I'm going to show you that now. So what you'd do is you'd go in your Google Ads account, you go to goals and then summary, and you've got the goals here. And what you would do is you go create action, and you can go website and then put your domain name in, which is this one, and let it scan. And you can just do it by the URL the same way, but you would only put the qualified one in. So what you do is go action, create manually, and you go conversion name, don't, whatever, select category. In this case, I would go submit lead form and go form submit qualified. I recommend you only track one, not every, because in case someone submits multiple times, go done. You can agree and continue. And you want to go to the settings. So now you can set it up multiple ways using Tag Manager. For example, you could set it up in Tag Manager. So what you could do is go back into Tag Manager, and you could set up the Google Ads trigger as well. So you would go back to tags, you would go new and go form submit qualified, go tag configuration, Google Ads, and you go Google Ads conversion tracking. And now you can put in this data that they've given you here. So you go the conversion ID would be this one, conversion ID there. You'd also want to install the conversion linker. You can put this label there. So you would go conversion label is that one that you copy from there. And then you would select the trigger qualified and go save. What you'd also want to do is create the Google tag. And so you can see here that it's done it automatically by me clicking create tag. So for the Google Ads tag, you want to add that as well. So just make sure you've done that if you haven't already. So just follow this here, just hit save with that. That should be the same number as your account. So you gotta fill these out. Okay, qualified. All right, hit save. Okay, you gotta make sure you got the Google tag in there, the conversion linker. So just put conversion linker and just go all pages, hit save. Now you would need to set up your Google tag as well with the tag ID. So you want to find the tag ID for your Google Ads account. Now, if you've already done Google Analytics, as it says here, you don't want to set up both. But if you're only sending it straight to Google Ads, then you would. So if you've already got your Google Analytics tag, this will be done already. So I'm just going to skip this because that's how I usually do it. And I recommend you set up Google Analytics anyway. So I'm just going to publish that. And so now what will happen is you, in your Google Ads account, you'd hit done. And now when someone actually submitted a qualified form, it would send the form here. And this would not show up as inactive. It would show up active and it will start counting. That's how it works. And so that is how the Google Tag Manager triggers just that one. And so what you want to do is you want to make sure that you're only sending the qualified ones as a conversion back to Google Ads. And certainly if it's set to primary optimization, you definitely want only the qualified one. If for some reason you are sending the unqualified ones back, make sure you send them to secondary. Set this to secondary here. How you would do that is you would click on it, and then inside the settings, you'd go edit settings, and then you would go secondary action, which means it won't optimize or it won't use it for bidding optimization. It will only use it for tracking purposes just to show you the amount. The one you want, which is the qualified one, needs to be a primary action, which is how the bidding strategy is going to work and how it'll optimize for it. And so that's the one you want, and you want to hit save. And so that's it. And so now what will happen is every time someone who's qualified submits the form, it will send that data back to Google. And every time someone who's not qualified submits the form, it won't send that data to Google. And that's exactly what you want, because you don't want unqualified people being sent back to Google. And so I highly recommend that you set this up now with Google Ads so that you can properly train your account to go after exactly the type of people that you want to get more of. Otherwise, it's going to get you more unqualified people, and that's the opposite of what you want, especially with the ad costs rising so much, especially this year. So that's it for how you set this up. If you have any questions about any of this, put them in the comments below and I'll answer them. Otherwise, if you want my help getting you results with PPC and Google Ads, go to dominatemarketing.io. You can book a call with me there and I'll see how I can help. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Catch you on the next one.